Hello, all, and welcome to the Montana Chamber of Commerce's final in-session Capital Connection. No matter what happens, the 90th legislative stay will be Friday per their calendar. So unless anything crazy happens, we will be out of here this week. And it's been a mess, but it's been fun, I guess. I spent a long time on the phone with my dad last week, just kind of complaining on my drive home. And then I said, but I like this job for some reason. So he thought that was good fun. But I'll toss to Charles. We've got a lot going on here in the office, so we're here from our desks and just getting started.
Thanks, Sheridan. Yeah, looks very likely that everyone, I'm almost certain everyone's going home this week, and more than likely, some point tomorrow will be Sine Die. If the stars align, might happen this evening. We had a couple of hearings this morning on two tax bills that were in conference committee, House Bill 231 and Senate Bill 542. Both of those raise taxes on larger businesses, business property, property tax increase, and also will shift, and they do that by shifting some taxes off residential property, as well as so onto businesses and then onto second homes and some short-term rentals. So property. So lots of tax shifting going on, and really no appetite in the legislature for actually reducing taxes or issuing the kind of credit that could allow some relief for residences without tax increases on businesses. So that's where we are, and the legislature not unified at all, but enough, a majority in both chambers, it seems ready to pass these tax increases and get out of town.
From the chamber's perspective on all of that, we did share this letter with all sorts of logos on it. Oh, of course, it'll zoom to blur it here. But we did share this with all sorts of logos from folks in all sorts of industries, just being concerned about that overall kind of overarching stance that they've taken this session. And so we talked about that last week. We got that onto desks first thing after our Capital Connection last Tuesday as we came back from the Easter break. And parts of it got picked up. We're hearing a conversation about it, and we've tried to strike a tone where people keep telling us that the cake is baked, and we know that, and we're doing what we can with the cards we've been dealt, and making sure our concerns are noted, both with legislators and with the governor and his staff. So we'll see what happens there, but basically, after property tax gets taken care of, I think that they're out of here. We post this Tuesday afternoon, so we'll see on our YouTube. So we'll see what we actually get by the time this goes live outside of our recorded Zoom call here. But both 542 and 231 look pretty similar at this point, right, Charles? And mostly concerned about those shifts. And again, we'll reiterate that without new revenue and without taking income tax revenue or general fund money, that tax shift will go to other classes of property, which is lots of our membership. There were some questions this morning in committee to Todd that he handled very gracefully, but that won't some of our members be getting a tax rate decrease with the proposals, and that is true, but we're standing together, and it's really hard to be where some of our members will benefit and some of our members will be hit really hard on it. So taking a strong response as a business community as a whole, standing together against that tax shift and increases to the cost of doing business. I can talk some of our other priority areas as we wrap up, but I will note that be posted. So if you're registered for this, we'll keep you posted, and I'll send a calendar invite for our kind of final wrap up. We'll have more of our lobbying colleagues on a call to talk about the session as a whole after the dust has settled a little bit. Anything to add, Charles?
No, things are really winding down quickly, and so we'll, as we get a chance to survey the landscape, we'll be sharing some of that feedback. I think it's looking likely that you're going to see um, some other business cost increases go through. One of those is the um, pharmacy reimbursements that base fees that are going to see employer health plan costs go up. So we leave this session, I think, with some real improvements in the landscape for example, for environmental law and regulatory structures to streamline those processes. We're really pleased with the renewal of Montana's Medicaid program, but can't get away from the disappointment that we're going to see a pretty large tax increase on Montana businesses, and that has an effect on the business climate and companies' decisions for where to invest their money.
So that's one of the things we've been engaged on outside of, or a couple of the things we've been engaged on outside of taxes that seem to drain all of our energy and time. But the childcare, we had our bill last Tuesday that would have provided tax credits for childcare workers, child tax credit, and then businesses who are engaged in childcare. And that has that failed in appropriations last Wednesday, which we anticipated. It is a pretty big fiscal note, especially when they're overspent. That's the other part of this coin on what's happening. They did pass House Bill 2. They concurred House Bill 2 in the House to Senate amendments to that yesterday morning, and so that's why, like, once they get the thing that they want to get done, which looks like taxes, ideally, yeah, they'll be out of there, right? And so we are. That bill did fail. There was a much smaller bill that passed the Senate floor via a blast motion last Wednesday. I think it passed third reading on Thursday, and that would make it so childcare workers would get free childcare, which is part of the solution. We don't think it's a full overarching fix for everything, but it is part of the solution to help recruit and retain childcare workers that are the backbone of that industry, right? In such a low wage industry. And then looking at some of the things that are included in House Bill 924, which is Lou Jones's great big trust bill that has all sorts of things in it, but one of those is an early childhood trust fund that could grow money and include private money, if so desired, from folks that want to donate to that, to improvement grants and quality and affordability programs for childcare. So we've been supportive of that, not within House Bill 924, so we're keeping an eye on that there too, and it might be a win depending on what the governor decides to do there. That's at the end of this, that the governor, I think, still ended up, correct me if I'm wrong, Charles, but I think the governor still ended up with an over budget almost, I've heard. He's got some things to redline veto.
Yeah, got to look at the final numbers there, but it has been a heavily spending session.
So we're doing what we can. We've won some, we've lost some, and lots of good news on, Charles and I were just talking about this morning, good news on MEPA, good news on Medicaid. So a lot of our priorities have gone through, and we're doing okay, or at least moving the needle. I think on childcare, in my world specifically, we knew we had some pretty big lifts this session, but I'm proud that we made it as far as we did to get the conversation going, and we heard a lot more about it on the House and Senate floors, which I think is a move in the right direction. And even on bills that didn't pass, they were saying, well, why isn't business involved in this? And how do we get business to do it? And we're working on it. So if you're interested in that at all, we've got an employer forum for childcare solutions on June 5th here in Helena. So be on the lookout for that information soon.